I'd like to call the September 7th, 2022 Historic Preservation Commission meeting to order at, let's see, what time are we here? 6:33 in the evening. Roll call. May we have a roll call vote?
Commissioner Barkley? Here. Commissioner Weinberger is absent. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Here.
Commissioner Braden is absent. Commissioner Harlow?
Here.
Commissioner Prisby?
Here.
And Chairman Bonin is absent.
Okay, so first thing we need to do is appoint a pro tem chairman. Because Chairman Bonin is absent, and the commission requires a temporary chairman for this meeting, I'd like to ask if a commissioner is willing to make a motion to appoint me as the chairman pro tem.
I will do that.
Second.
Wait. There's something I have to read before you say second.
Oh, okay. Well, if you'd like to.
No, okay. I move to appoint Jim Prisby as Chairman Pro Tem for September 7th, 2022 Historic Preservation Commission meeting.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And I'd like to remind everyone that's here that we have barely a quorum. So when we vote on items tonight, they need to be 4-0 to pass. So a majority of 3-1 does not work.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. It came up last month, and I just want to remind everyone that that's what's going on. First item of business, approval of minutes. Are there any corrections to the meeting minutes for August 3rd, 2022? I know Bill and Frank, you guys weren't here.
I was
so-
not here.
Yeah. Bethany would, I think technically both Frank and I need to abstain from that since we weren't here. Should we be rolling those to our next meeting because of that?
We can. I've talked to our village attorney about this, and, the quorum on the majority of the quorum on minutes is not held as highly as projects, but we can push them to the next meeting, just for the folks that were here.
I'm happy to approve if you all want to do that. I'm not trying to roll them, I'm just asking.
If you feel comfortable and went back and watched the minutes, that's also, or the meeting, which was posted online, that's also fine. We can also continue it to the next meeting, though.
It's up to you guys.
Let's continue.
Want to continue it?
Yeah.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to continue approval of the minutes from the August 3rd, 2022 meeting.
Second.
Do we need a roll call vote for that, or just,
You can do a voice vote.
okay, voice vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Got it. Okay, next thing on the agenda is sign permit review. Case A-20-2022 for 28 East First Street, Visual Comfort and Company. Installation of one wall sign. Would the applicant please come to the podium and provide a brief overview of the project? And please state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Flood, and I am here on behalf of Circle Lighting. I am a member of the showroom development team visiting from Savannah, Georgia, where Circle Lighting is headquartered, and it is really my pleasure to be here tonight in this beautiful, beautiful town. I hadn't been here before, had just seen pictures, and it's lovely. Our beautiful store in Hinsdale opened in December of last year. Hopefully, you've had the opportunity to go by and maybe even purchase lighting. We are excited about the store. It's been a great performer for us, and our company is embarking upon an exciting transformation that is resulting in a branding update that will affect this store. Thus, we have submitted an application and sign plans to reflect this branding change. I wanted to let you know I'm here with a member of our sign team. Technical questions that you may have about the signage, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background on this change our company is experiencing. Since 1998, Circle Lighting has retailer of lighting that is designed and manufactured by Visual Comfort And our showrooms display an edited selection of visual comfort merchandise and offer a high-touch selection and sales experience for interior designers, architects, builders, and consumers. And Circa Lighting and Visual Comfort have actually been one company since the beginning, but have operated under two brand names, Circa Lighting being the retailer and Visual Comfort the manufacturer. And in January, that will change, and our brands will unify and simplify under one powerful brand name, Visual Comfort and Co. And the brands will share one website, and Circle Lighting showrooms will be Visual Comfort showrooms. So as a result of this, we are seeking to change our signage. We're very, very excited about this strategic direction and about bringing this to light. So I wanted to, you have the sign plans in front of you, just wanted to kind of walk through what the change is. We are proposing a very similar sign to what we have currently. We have channel letters that are mounted on a raceway, and the raceway is painted the same color as the building facade. With the Visual Comfort and Co. logo, the letters will be gray instead of black, and they will appear white when illuminated. So during the day, they'll be gray, at night, white. We do this with the help of a special vinyl. And this signage will be the brand standard for. The sign will sit in the same area as the Circa Lighting sign currently sits. And it will occupy about 13 square feet. So that's well under the 25 square foot maximum. I have a sample of one of the letters. Just plug it in here. So it looks like very beautiful. So this is what it'll look like in the evening. This will read white on the facade, and during the day.
Does that, if you turn that off right now, does it read as gray?
Yeah. Let me turn it off.
Oh, I see.
Got it.
Excited. It's a very, high-end sign, understated, elegant look for beauty. Any questions?
That's my line. Commissioners, any questions?
Well, I would just say welcome to Hinsdale. As a
Thank you.
Savanian, you understand the importance of historical preservation.
Why you protect it. I was saying this to Bethany. I can see why.
I think that my reaction to this is definitely a favorable one. The visual impact, if I can use that pun, sorry, of this sign is actually a little more low-key than the existing Circa one on the back.
Frank?
My turn. I like the subtlety of the gray because it doesn't just jump out. Question would be, as far as the lumen involved to lighting the sign, how strong will it be? Because it's a small corridor, so you don't need a very bright sign. You just need enough that people can see it from literally across the street, which is probably 35 feet. So.
If you've seen the Circa Lighting sign,
You're concerned with the number of
Would you
letters?
push your
No,
microphone over
the illumination, how much is it gonna
on the
light
podium?
up?
You just
the,
move your microphone over so that,
For example, how much is it gonna light up?
The microphone, you cut out every once in a while
Yeah.
because the mic.
This.
Just
Oh,
move-
here.
There you go.
Yep,
Okay.
there we go. Yep.
Sorry. Okay. Got it.
Thank you.
I don't want to, trying to avoid it, that it's overly bright, and I just try, that's all. That's the question I'm posing. The style looks fine, so it's hard to imagine it. I mean, I'm sure, do you know the number of lumens, or?
And let our sign expert speak to that.
So like she said, it won't be any brighter than the sign that's there right now. It holds, so there are LEDs behind it, and it's gonna be 120 watts altogether, so it's not gonna be any brighter than what's there now. So is that what your concern is?
Right, right, yeah, usually you have a luminosity attached to that to get a sense that way. Or was it candle power?
Yeah, so it's a 65,000 K,
6,500.
6,500,000 white. So what's there is just black over it, but it still illuminates white at night. So does that help?
And the sample you showed us, is that
Yes.
exactly?
Yes,
Okay, I
yes, the
see.
exact letter.
Okay, okay, well, that's helpful. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't see an issue.
Sarah?
Yep, looks good.
I had a couple of questions. Looking at the section through this, it shows that the letters will be 3 inches thick and that the raceway behind it is 4.5 inches thick. So these letters are going to be essentially 7 inches off the wall, which when I went by the building today, it seemed like those were the deepest or the furthest out from the actual face of the wall than anything else on that building. Like the FedEx sign, I think it might be 5 inches deep. And that's because this raceway bar that this gets mounted to as a box projects them off the wall. And I'm not sure if anybody realized that or had a problem with that.
I don't know, what's the, this,
So here's the box, it's behind.
Right.
This is the letter.
yeah, and from there, what is it, 2 inches, 3, excuse me? It
I'm not
doesn't
even
have a-
saying I
Does it have a
have-
dimension on it?
Yeah, it's on here. It's on this. So it says
Oh,
3
on that
inches
page.
here.
Got it,
And
okay.
then 4.5 inch on the raceway
I see.
by 7 inches high. And I'm not even necessarily saying I have a problem with that. I just wanted to make sure that everyone realized that it was going to project off the building, that these letters are not
Flush.
mounted to the face.
And the sign now has a raceway too, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It does sit within a frame too, so
Right.
that,
When that building was designed originally, those accent areas in the masonry were specifically designed for signage, so it's the perfect location. It makes it easier for these buildings. And then is the raceway box going to be the exact same color that's up there currently?
yes.
Because one of the
Okay.
notes that I saw was that it was going to match the color of the brick. And with the brick on that building, there's different colors to it. I was wondering if that should be a limestone backing as a color versus a brick, but if it was going to match what's there now, then I have no problem with it.
See, here, I don't know how, the photo, it seems that it's, I have to really stare at it, if you can get that color.
Yeah, if it matches that color, I
Yeah,
have no problem. with it.
yeah.
Right.
I think it really blends in well. It's very difficult to tell that there's a raceway behind.
Right.
Right, okay.
Any public comments regarding this? Anyone here tonight that'd like to stand up and say something?
Yeah. May I ask one question more about the lighting? With the sample that you showed us, so does this, does it run on some sort of a timer? Is it photoelectric? How does that work?
Yes, it runs on a timer.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any other comments, deliberation?
Nope, I'm good.
Anyone? All right, so do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve case A 20-2022, 28 East First Street, Visual Comfort and Company, installation of one wall sign.
I second it.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barkley? Aye. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Commissioner Prisby?
Aye. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you very much. Appreciate your time.
All right. Now we're on to public meetings. And we're going to pick up, I guess, what the Plan Commission has sent back to us. case A-15-2022 for 36 South Washington Street and 4 West Hinsdale Avenue for air room, exterior appearance review, and site plan review to allow for changes to the exterior facade of the existing building and a sign permit review to allow for the installation of 2 new wall signs on the building located at 36 South Washington and 4 West Hinsdale in the B2 Central Business District. Like I said, the Plan Commission has referred this case back to us for further review. I can see Mike is already at the podium.
Sorry.
Ready to go.
Ready to go, Jim?
Topped up and ready. So please state your name for the record, just so it's on there.
Mike Klein.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me back. As you said, the Plan Commission referred this back for your review again. If you recall, when we were here last time in front of you, we had some recommendations to work with Jim on the architectural details, given this was kind of a vintage building. And we did that, and I think Jim signed off on that. Happy with our back panel and our corbels to make it a little bit more traditional. And when we went, Jim also recommended that we show a halo lit, predominantly halo lit letters versus some of the edge lit letters that we had originally to the Plan Commission. And the Plan Commission, according to Jack, opted to rather have the halo lit letters predominantly than the edge lit, which required the letters to be a little bit larger than initially presented, but we're still under the 25 square feet, which is what they were hoping that we could stick to. And we did that successfully, I believe. So we have, at least that's the way I understand I wasn't at that meeting. And so we have recreated the 2 signs with halo lit letters, and on the Washington Avenue side, and then on the Hinsdale Avenue side, we chose to not illuminate the architect's modelers like originally planned, and just illuminate air room to reduce the lighting, and also because the letters are too small and they would need to be face lit like planned, we just decided to eliminate the lights and just make it easier on everybody. So that's what we did, and I'm hoping that this works for you as we designed it.
Well, thank you for putting that effort in a 24-hour period last time, Mike.
Okay.
That was a lot of back and forth, but I'm glad we could get it done so
Yeah,
we could
thanks,
get to
Jim.
Plan Commission.
Yeah.
And for the record, for those who weren't here last month, they have essentially done exactly what we had asked them to do, or at least attempt to get it to the Plan Commission. So just to kind of summarize that, instead of having an aluminum panel just over the entire window area, we asked that they build something out 12 to 14 inches and add some corbels to the underside to make it look more like an architectural pediment as opposed to a simple applied.
above the
Yeah, so there's, you can see, but at the columns and then beyond the brick opening, some corbels were added. So it looks like it's holding up a roof pediment
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
and create a little bit more of an architectural feel to it than simply an applied aluminum panel.
Sure,
And I'm happy with the result of that piece.
okay.
And another part of the discussion last time was, can't remember the exact term you used, but it was like punch-through letters
Yes.
that still, even though it wasn't technically a cabinet sign, felt like a cabinet sign. And we asked if they could go back and make some of the lettering large enough so that everything could be halo lit. And Mike and his team have gone back and done that as well.
Okay.
So I think they did a nice job on it.
Thank
And
you very much.
I am happy that you decided not to try to make the sign bigger on Hinsdale, to just like the architects and was it builder and remodeler part? Because I think the air room part will stand out enough that way.
Good, thank you.
Mike, one thing that did come up to me after that meeting that I've had a couple commissioners bring up, and then I heard from a couple of residents that I wanted to make sure that I addressed with you. We didn't, because we really didn't talk about this much last time. There was some concern that was brought up regarding the entrance not being recessed 3 feet. And the reason they brought it up was because everything else on that block, on both sides of the street, is actually recessed. So this would be kind of an anomaly on that block. And I don't know if the Plan Commission is going to address this at that point, because that's really not our thing for the architecture on that. We're more signage at this level, but they do listen to kind of our recommendations, and I want everyone kind of thinking on this before you get to Plan Commission next week. That was something that was brought up by several people to me, if there was a way to get the door recessed in 3 feet, so that when it could swing out at that point and mimic the rest of the stores on that entire block.
Yeah, the problem with this space, as if you've ever been in it, maybe you haven't, but somebody had the great idea to punch out the Caldwell Bankers sign, space into this space like a box. It's like a 12 by 12 box. Right. And so when you walk in, you kind of have this wall standing there, and then you have to walk around it and behind it again. And that's just the way it is, right? So it just, with the doors there, it kills the space in the front when you have moved it back. So there was nowhere to put a display there really well. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess the way you, depending on whose side of it you're on, I mean, we moved the doors forward to create some more space so we could actually have some displays and retail in the window. Right now, it's just kind of dysfunctional, and we had to allow for the swing of the doors, so that's kind of how we got here. And it's an unusual space. This was the best way to clean it up.
And I just know that's going to come up again at Plan Commission, so be aware of that with you and your team. And
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm not sure everybody would have the same hardship on the inside. I don't see many spaces like this that.
yeah, I know it's not very deep from the door to that
No,
wall,
it's not.
having been in Blue Iris several times over the years.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it might help you to do just a little plan of the front entrance to convey to the other commissioners, because then they can see it, because right now I'm trying to visualize, I'm getting a general, I'm an architect, so I get it, but others don't.
Thank you, I will do so.
Yeah,
So that's what's getting demoed.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah,
this
it needs to
wall.
be a little bigger for that. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, same idea, just so you can say, you want to explain it that before it was a hindrance, and then you want to say, this is our option, and then figure out how to put some displays or something, some ideas that these are ones for displays.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'll try.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Whatever works for you guys, I mean, just to convey the message.
Yeah, maybe we'll do something a little more graphic.
Yeah, because right there, yeah, I get a sense of the entrance, but I don't get the sense of the interior, and what we're discussing is the interior. So I still would say, well, if I didn't know any better, I would say, well, why? I don't see a problem there. That's all.
Yeah, I get your point. Okay, we'll do it.
Sure, okay, thank you.
All right, is there anyone in general public who would like to say something regarding this application? Hearing none. Any additional comments or deliberation regarding this?
I would, there we go. So I wasn't here for the August meeting, but I appreciate the background that Jim gave, and also the work that you all did to come in line with that. And I particularly like not only the treatment there on Washington, but reducing the sign on Hinsdale Avenue to the size of the sign to the window, which is not currently the case. So that brings it in nicely. Everything you've done, I think, is really very nice. I am sympathetic with the view that the door should be recessed. It is currently. James Blue Iris operated with that layout for years. Been in there many times. It's not my impression that when you walk in from a 3-foot recessed door and you walk right into that wall. My suggestion would be that we consider approving as brought back to us, but with a recommendation that the Plan Commission move forward on having a recessed door. So it'd be similar to what was the James Blue Iris space.
Okay. Would you like to make a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Do we
Can
have
I-
a second?
oh, Can I speak to that, or?
Yes, go ahead, absolutely.
That makes it really difficult for us, because when you push that door back and to put a kitchen display like we were doing, cabinetry display in the front, and to have the swing of a door and walk space, to build this space out nicely is just going to be really, really tough. Just really appreciate it if you would reconsider that recommendation, because that just really puts a real big hole in our floor plan.
Mike, the one thing I look at when I was talking to Bill, if you take, and again, you guys can do what you need to do. If you take that door and recess it in 3 feet, whether you had the door was currently swinging in, if you recess it 3 feet and you swing the door out, you're really not losing any more door swing space at that point. So right, because I believe I saw on the plan that the door swings in. So you're losing 3 feet at the doorway currently. If you recess the opening 3 feet and have the door swing out, because now it's not swinging into the public walkway, you're really not losing any circulation space just inside that door. You're still technically in at that point. And again, that's up for you and your design team.
Yeah, I see. I see. We'll have to take a look at it. I think there was a few reasons why we did this, and
I
it's
know,
it's a goofy situation with the sidewalk sloping down, and you got this flat, dirty area.
I don't know what the store's name is currently, but there was up the block was Green Goddess, which is right next to Einstein's. And they had a car drive through there, and we had to redesign the whole front of the building. We had to kind of do the same thing, and I know because of the sidewalk, it was really difficult to meet the ADA requirement. So on that space, we actually had to go much deeper than 3 feet in order to get the slope from the first floor then down to the sidewalk. And I don't know if you're running into the same thing there or not, but just from a more of a flat design, you would technically only need the 3 feet if you weren't running into a sidewalk issue. And that's something your team would have to look into. I know Blue Iris was much deeper than 3 feet too.
Yeah. I thought by code the door had to swing out.
Yeah, I would have to leave that for village staff, but there's a lot of buildings in town that do swing in.
Yeah,
And some of them
I
are
would assume
because
that they were
of the change in
grandfathered.
elevation.
Okay.
So like Einstein's, you can't come up the stairs and swing out over the staircase. So. Anything else you'd like to say, Mike?
That's it.
All right, well, thank you very much. So, you're gonna stick with that motion, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone want to second that?
Can I ask
I
for
got
a
a
clarification on the motion? Was that to refer it back to the Historic Preservation Commission or to continue it on to Plan Commission subject to that recommendation?
The latter.
Okay.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
It might be a little bit more of a code. Does it have to be full 3 feet? Can it be something 2 feet? And the door sticks out of 1 foot? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know either.
You know,
It's
I
a
think they
question.
may run into more of an issue with the slope from the doorway down to the sidewalk based on the first
Oh,
floor height.
okay. Yeah, okay. All right.
And they're gonna have to figure that out. And maybe have to do that with the village at some level or before the plan commission meeting. I know that up the block, I had to go at least 2 feet deeper.
2 feet deeper.
Right.
2 feet deeper than 3 feet? 5
Yes,
feet?
so we were about 5 feet deep to get into Green Goddess.
Oh, okay.
And it's something else now, but, and it related to the height of the first floor to the height of the sidewalk and the angle of the sidewalk.
Right.
So you had to essentially pitch it on an angle at the end of this walkway. And I know it was over a concrete slope structure that was there before because that was a very depressed, recessed opening. And again, each situation's unique, but.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they can level off the sidewalk. I'm
Well,
kidding.
yeah, good luck. I know I've run across this exact same thing before in some commercial designs where Do you have the door swing in an old
Right.
building, or do you have it swing out? Egress is preferable to be
Right.
out.
Yeah, okay.
And if you're gonna take up the same 3 feet of space essentially, again, it's a design, it's a choice.
Sure. Okay.
And I know it was brought up with me by several people that that would now be the only storefront that did not have a recessed entry, and we did not talk about that last month.
Right.
All right, did they even come up at Plan Commission, Bethany?
It didn't.
Okay,
I think one person actually may have mentioned it.
okay. Wasn't sure. I know we
Yeah.
were there, but I can't remember what we talked about.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's just a challenging building, right? It was built, it's an odd-shaped lot. It was originally built as a Victorian. It was sort of this ersatz, you know, Georgian revival, colonial revival was put on at some point, not entirely successfully, in this person's opinion. And I think whatever we can do to try to bring it in line with, the general tenor of that block is helpful, and that's why I'm
Oh,
arguing for that
is that the original?
addition.
yeah,
Yeah.
hard to
Flush
believe,
with the
huh?
windows.
Yeah.
The doors were flush with the windows on that one.
Let's see what
You
it
know,
looks like.
in our neighbor's door, I mean,
Boy, they really changed it.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, there's that whole, what do you call it, basket weave brick pattern that fills in that whole area that they're eliminating and raising
But I-
the windows on.
But I would point out that Crow Van, his door is right at the front, kind of, and
Is that the one to the left?
yeah, and the next one to the left is
I
right
think-
at the flush and the kind of
Yeah, I
steel
think the
door.
one to the left, you actually have to go upstairs to get into. And I think
Yeah.
that one, I think that has to swing in because there's stairs there, as opposed to level with the sidewalk.
Yeah, I guess I was just pointing out that I think somebody thought that it was all the doors were recessed,
I
but
think
they're.
it was more for the first floor shops as opposed to the second floor entrances, up and down the block.
Right.
Anyone else?
I'm good.
So we have a motion, still stands. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, Bethany.
Commissioner Barkley? Aye. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Commissioner Frisbee?
And I'm going to vote aye as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going
'Cause
to
we're only
let
four,
Plan
and then
Commission
we gotta-
kind
I
of play
don't
with
want
that
this-
a little bit.
I don't
Okay.
want him to come back again and again.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring it to your attention too, Mike, because it had been kicked around by a couple people, and I didn't want you to kind of get blindsided at Plan Commission. If you guys can spend a little time thinking about it in the week leading up to that meeting, and be able to make a good argument for it, that would help, right?
Okay, thank you very much.
And good luck, Mike. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the, and
Thank
Mike,
you.
thank you very much for the changes you guys made last week.
No problem.
It was terrific. You guys did a nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Case A18, 2022, 18 East Hinsdale Avenue for Zazu Salon and Day Spa. Exterior appearance and site plan review to allow the replacement of the second floor windows on the existing building located at 18 East Hinsdale Avenue in the B2 Central Business District. Is the applicant present?
Yes, he is. Sam
Yes, he
Segretto.
is.
Sam Segretto.
James?
I own and operate Zazu Salon Spa for quite a few years, 43 years to be exact. We've been in Hinsdale. Maybe some of you are customers or your wives are customers. So the building, I've owned the 18 East and 16 East for 20 years now. The building both buildings are kind of a hodgepodge of styles, really. And we're trying to get some uniformity to the look. The second floor of that building, all of the windows that are on there were not original. They're very inefficient. Seals are broken. They look very, very bad. And all we really want to do is just replace the windows with a better quality. That's really quite simply all we want to do.
I walked past there today, and clearly the front windows that face the street are in bad shape.
They are.
I mean, they were,
They are.
it was more than just paint.
Yes.
Right, so the brick
yes.
mold was clearly starting to fall apart.
Right.
And
right.
you could tell that these were not original windows.
Right,
To the structure. I also thought it was interesting that the brick mold and the little trim that was next to that appears to have been brown. The windows along the side and the back are all white currently, but the windows that you have facing the front, you can almost see it on the photo.
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
This
They,
photo.
Those may have been painted
yeah. Yeah.
when we did the lower.
Oh, yes, we were trying to make it more uniform. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to cover up the poor quality and condition that they were.
So did you paint those previously? Is that what? 'Cause you had the
No,
building for a
well,
while.
I think we painted them dark to try to make it more uniform and, to no avail.
Comments, questions?
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
What are you, talking about windows on the first and the second floor, which windows are you planning to?
Second floor.
Oh, second floor.
Second floor.
Okay.
We do have like long-term plans to try and, we're not crazy in love with the facade.
On the first floor.
First floor. So like long-term, the idea would be to eventually address that.
This is my son,
Sorry,
Anthony, by the way. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, we would eventually like to address the whole front of the building. That's a big project. We're not quite ready for that right now.
You've already replaced the windows on the first floor the rest of the way around, correct? Aren't they black windows now, or are they just old windows painted black?
Oh, no, it's a dark bronze
Okay.
type of finish, but we would probably change those to black to make it uniform with the second floor.
Yeah, and those were done when we first,
That's 20,
Yeah.
those are, over 20 years old now.
Okay.
And we would address that when we get a new design for the front of the building, because the whole facade on the first floor is not really, I'm not a huge fan of that. 20 years ago, maybe that was okay, but I'm not crazy about it now. But that's not what we're here for, so.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. Bethany, do we have any old photos of this building in color to know what the second floor windows were in the front?
Yeah, so I contacted the Historical Society to try to ask that question. And I included a couple of photos in the packet that you can kind of see before you get to their application. There's 2 photos in here. These are the only 2 we were able to find that are super old. There's one from a snowstorm in 1924. That the
Oh, wow.
Hinsdale.
And the windows that are there now are residential windows.
Yeah, you can tell.
Double hung, it's really not in keeping with what's happening in the town right now with upgrading the, facades and windows. I've been here for 43 years. I can't say I'll be here another 43, but the rest of my family will be. So we've always been, pro Hinsdale. 43 years is, I think, there's a lot of proof in that. And want to cooperate and want to make the building look as good as it possibly can. As I said, I'm not crazy about the front on the first floor. That's something for another time.
Right.
But that would match the second floor windows when we redo it because of the investment we have to put into the second floor.
So, James, one of the things I would bring up, we run across this a lot in Hinsdale. Just the nature of the buildings that are here, a lot of red brick. We just dealt with this for, what was it 24 West First Street? Or the
14.
14 West, right next to the watch shop and off the alley, where they're going to be putting in a store below and like a dermatology center on the second level. And that is an old Zook building, if I remember correctly. And so there's some historic value to it. There's a lot in town that we look at and say, okay, the first floor shops, they change. You're there for a long time right now with the salon. It was a pharmacy before then. It was Rexall
Right,
Drug.
right.
Who knows what it'll be in 20, 30, 40 years. And those things change, just like Air Room, who was just here, took out Blue Iris in the entry, and now they're going to do something that's a little more modern that still fits within the context of a first floor shop within the architecture. And because those things change a lot, we kind of go with the flow with some of these things. Second floor, though, and we just did this for 14 East West First Street. They had a darker color picked out for all the first floor windows in the shop, but we asked them to stick with white at the second floor, which was more consistent with the rest of the buildings around town and the architecture in town, a little more historic. And I see on the side that we already have white windows on the side and in the back. And I don't know if with the paint coming off the brick mold in the front, if it was always kind of white underneath, which is why I was asking Bethany about the pictures. And I know you've got the black on the first floor now, and I'm just bringing up with the rest of the commissioners too.
If I may say something.
Sure.
Just because something is older doesn't always make it better. That building, I don't know that you could say is such a historical, especially the way it was changed 20 years ago. It doesn't, and when you look around the town, I have images, pictures, and there are many buildings that are dark and dark, not white on the top.
Right.
And the ones that are certainly a colonial type of building and very much with colonial, but I can't say that ours is that. And that's 18 East, and I also own 16 East, which is that style. I don't think it exists anywhere in Hinsdale. It's a Dutch style building, and I don't know. I don't think I've seen that anywhere. So I just think it would be more uniform with all the buildings that are being redone in town. I think it would be much more in keeping with what's currently happening,
Okay.
and much more attractive.
I think where that argument holds water most is on the alley side, where you have a clear view of the side of the building with regular size windows down that side on the first floor,
Yes.
and then windows almost directly above it on the second floor, where you have almost windows stacked. And they have a black window or a darker window on the first floor.
Yes.
And a lighter window on the second floor could be considered and discussed by this commission.
I fail to see how that looks attractive.
Well,
Dark
that's why
and light.
I'm bringing it up, that
Yeah,
on the side,
I have a picture of that. It really looks.
but it's still kind of here on this same general photo.
Yeah,
And it's a worthy discussion
well,
for the commission.
In the building that's right across the alley from me, I have a image of that with white windows on there. Maybe you'd like to take a look at that and see how it, if I may bring that up.
Sure,
Please.
absolutely.
This is right across the alley, but right across from the news agency.
I didn't realize, for the record, I was in that picture. Just
sorry.
so you guys know. Found that out later.
That's very attractive. And that's what we have to look at.
Right. Welcome to an alley in Hinsdale, right?
I like to call it an alley.
It's the nicest one in
It
Hinsdale.
really is very, very nice. And may I say, what you guys did, I think, is really great. It's turned out very nice with the patio area. So I would hope that you would consider this for us. It would really help with the branding that we're trying to do with our businesses. We do have locations in other towns, and we're trying to keep some consistency to the look. And I just might make mention that we had a new sign placed on the front of the building, and it's not really in keeping with the rest of our locations, but by what you wanted, we went along and changed it to what you requested.
I remember that, James. We were debated that quite a bit, and we appreciated that.
Yeah, want to cooperate.
Any comments?
Oh, I appreciate certainly your point of view, and I understand the branding component. When I drove down both blocks today, I guess that's kind of become a habit of ours. Like the day of the meeting, we all go back and revisit these places. I am struck by the fact that the second-story windows on the alley are really exclusively white, all the way down Cafe La Fortuna, the building that Blue Mercury is in, the old Hinsdale Fire Station where Wintrust is, and across the street from you in a news agency. So it seems to me that it's kind of a matter of personal taste as to whether white looks better than black or black looks better than white on a second story, but from a continuity perspective for that alleyway, which really has improved greatly over the last few years, especially with what the village has done with the dining area and so on. I would concur with Jim. I would like to see the windows, at least on the alley, be white rather than black.
What about the front?
Well, I would argue for white on the front too. I'm maybe a little more sympathetic to having them be black. I mean, the front is where that's your presence, right? The alleyway is not your presence. You don't even have a sign over there.
No, but you actually do see.
It really is a big part of the business, because you see what's happening in there. That's one of the reasons why I purchased that building, because it had two sides to it.
Right. I understand that you have the window and you're, at some point, you're thinking of redoing the first floor facade
Yes,
around the
which
corner.
would, I would go along with what the planning commission would, what they would allow us to do with that at that time. But, the bank building down at the other end is certainly, the whole building is a different character than this building, and then the buildings at this end. And really, the building, I'll say the news agency building, that is really a deplorable looking site. And to say that, to keep them white just because it's white, to match that, I fail to see. It's a question of taste. I think it's a question of right or wrong, really. And it is wrong to try to match that.
If you, I guess, my counter to that would be, they're white down the entire block, down the entire alley. So if we're really interested in continuity, then white is the only choice.
It's very disappointing. Very disappointing.
What about the quality of
one man's
windows?
opinion.
I'm sorry?
I disagree with that opinion, I will say, because if we're going for continuity, half those windows on the other side have air conditioning units in them.
Thank you.
We don't require that they take down those air conditioning units to match the windows on the other side. And to me, looking at this is more of a non-residential, this isn't a double-hung, individually paned window that you see in a home. This is more of a non-residential window that I actually don't want to highlight. I think the white highlights these more modern windows on an old
Agree.
building. And I would rather see them
Disappear.
blend in, yes. I would rather see
Right.
these particular windows blend in. I mean, if we were doing residential double-hung individual panes on a colonial building, yes,
Right.
white all the way. But
It
that's
is a
my-
commercial building. No, it's not residential.
So is this looks like a double hung window, is that it? Or
It's not double hung.
it does look here on
Well,
this drawing.
Actually, maybe you could take a look at it. I don't have that in front of me.
I mean, your cut sheet.
There's, hey, Frank, I
Just
think
that
there
you look
was,
at this.
We were trying to,
Right?
trying to stay
I thought it
in
was that.
Picture with the
keeping.
The
It's an
awning,
awning.
it's a picture with an awning on the
Okay.
bottom, right?
All right, okay. All right, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
I think there was another one in here. There
You
was a
know,
single.
I look at windows like something that in 5 years, 10 years, it can be replaced, like it's not permanent. If you were punching out a bigger opening than that, that would then change my opinion. So, meaning that I'm neither here or there, whether it's white or black. And if the case, if, let's assume they go with white, then across the alley, they're gonna have the old white, and I don't know.
We're matching something that is not nice. That I don't see the logic in that.
See the building next door, the other direction?
And, you know, around town, all the buildings that are being redone are done with dark commercial.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, typically on the first floor, we've been doing a lot of that.
Yeah, but
So
not
the
on,
building,
I have pictures with second floors all through town.
The most recent building built, actually, on First Street.
Is
It
dark.
has Verizon, FedEx.
It
it's all
doesn't have
dark.
white windows
yeah,
above
that's
it.
not the building that, as a historic district, we're using as a standard, right? That was built before a lot of us were on the commission. And we're trying to actually protect the historic buildings in town. The building to the west of you, I just pulled this up for Frank and I'll show Bill, and Sarah, I can pass this down to you as well. It has a whiter window, but if you look at the wood trim that's around it within the opening, it actually is a darker colored trim around those windows, which I think they were actually doing on this building that they're submitted for with the painted brick mold. So there's already some dark aspects to the neighbor's building as well that,
You know, I think the previous owner, right before I purchased it, to try to make it more updated, put in these windows, but they're not, it was not a good quality window and a good choice.
I went by there today, like I said, and they're definitely not good windows at all.
Right, yeah.
And the brick mold is falling apart.
Yes,
No doubt
yes.
about it.
And as, Sarah, is it? As you pointed out, there are a lot of features on these buildings that are not really attractive. And to try to make some uniformity in the color does kind of make unattractive things disappear rather than making them stand out. And that, I think, is part of the logic in, and I do have other pictures of other buildings that are, it's dark, and it's uniform. So that, that I think is, I think that points out the fact that it makes it more uniform and does not highlight the bad qualities is really my point.
Should be pointed out that at the other end of the block, the Starbucks building, which used to be Barth's Pharmacy,
you.
has dark windows on the second floor on that block.
it does. Yeah, at the other end.
And it would be in keeping with that building.
Probably never noticed them because they were dark.
I'm sorry?
Probably never noticed the windows because they were dark.
That's right. And it's an attractive looking building. And I'm sure that's why that was done, for the same reason.
So is there anyone here in the public that would like to speak regarding this? There you go, all right. So, any other deliberation?
43 years, guys. I've been working at this a long time. And my family my family's here, and it's my 3 sons in this business as well, doing a great job too. And we're about to open our 7th location in Naples, Florida. So if you guys vacation, that's where you want to go.
I'll see you down there when I need a haircut. Anything else, folks?
No, I think we deliberated a lot.
Yeah. So can I get a motion?
I move to approve case A 18-2022, 18 East Hinsdale Avenue, Zazu Salon and Day Spa, for the replacement of second floor windows.
I second it. Okay.
Okay, now, this is advisory to Plan Commission, right?
Correct.
So this is not a final vote, right? Do we have a motion? Or do we have a roll call vote?
And the village board has final approval on a project like this.
Got it.
Commissioner Barkley? Aye. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Commissioner Prisby?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I
James.
appreciate that. I really do.
That was a little tougher, but I think with the Starbucks building having the darker windows and kind of capping the block, and we always focus so much on streetscape per block, I think it was something we could justify. I was really more bothered by the side elevation. So, moving on, we have another one. Case A-21.
Yay.
2022, 35 East First Street, Fuller House. Exterior appearance and site plan review to allow for facade improvements to the existing building located at that address in the B2 Central Business District. Will the applicant please come to the podium and state your name and provide a brief overview of the project?
I'm Patricia Vlahos. Nice to meet you all. I'm representing Fuller House as the owner and operator. I want to go ahead and go over the renderings. I'm going to go left to right if that's okay. I know that there's a lot here, so any questions, please feel free to ask. When looking at the renderings, I want to add that we're just looking to accentuate the building. It's an exterior refresh to the facade. After 8 years, we want to keep things updated, keep things fresh, keep our patrons excited. We are obviously on a major corner, and we think this is a great design update for the whole town. If we want to start with page 2, where it's actually showing the full frontal view of the exterior. I want to also add that our sign permitting and review, that's going to be separate from this, just because it's so much all at once. We wanted to separate it and make things a little bit simpler. So starting from the left, we would be doing new outdoor planter boxes, and there is a box spec on the 4th page, I believe. Page, just to show you the reclaimed wood, the type of wood, the sizing, and this would be only on private property. It would not extend out to public property, which you can also see in the second page. Next would be the new reclaimed wood cladding for the exterior, which the signage would be sitting on top of that. We do right now have reclaimed wood. It does not extend the full building. It's only a partial, basically like a small reclaimed plank. And the wood would again be reclaimed wood, so all of the wood would be uniform throughout the whole exterior. I'm gonna go ahead and skip over the metal channel lettering, but it is backlit lettering, just basic lettering, but we'll go ahead and skip over that. New outdoor exterior wall sconces, they're just to replace our gooseneck lighting right now. Just, again, an update, a refresh to the facade. That's, the exterior lighting is there from the hardware store. 2 of the lights are not even functioning anymore. Again, just goes with the whole updated look of the town, and also our next door neighbors who are updating the whole entire exterior of their buildings. So we want to keep our look modern and fresh. And there is a cut sheet for that on the 4th page that shows you the brand, the color, stays with the whole look of the whole building of bronze, anodized, oxidized bronze. Then we also have the exterior brick to be painted. I know that this has been brought up in the in previous meetings, and is not a positive, has not had positive reviews. I understand where you're coming from. I think that this goes with the look of our building, goes with the vibe of our restaurant. We're not looking to change it, and it's not a stark white. It's a very subtle tone. It's going to be distressed. Nabuki restaurant right down the street, they have their building a stark white brick, which is painted. We are not looking to even do it. The renderings are very deceiving because we have to create the color that we're looking to paint it. If you look on the 2nd page, it does show you a little bit more of how the brick would be distressed if you look to the left side where it says pick me up. So we're not looking, we still want to have that brown color shown through, but it just kind of gives it like a more distressed look. Would you like me to continue, or do you have any questions about?
This,
Sure.
the side down, I guess, running north-south, where your outdoor space
So it's all covered with ivy. You can't
Okay,
even see
so-
anything through it. We want
So you wouldn't pull that down, paint it, and let it grow again? It would,
to, yeah. We think that the ivy gives the whole outside like a beautiful vibe and feel, and, you know, a nice summery, fresh ambiance.
Do you have an idea when you paint brick what happens when it gets weathered?
Well, it would be sealed. So
And the sealer lasts for 5, 8, 10 years, and after that, it starts
if it
flaking.
needed to be redone, we would definitely obviously update it. I'm sure
Then
that.
now you're creating more maintenance for yourself if you didn't do anything with it. My point is that sealers trap moisture and creates cracking of brick. I deal with this all the time. So, and also, it's like brick was never meant to be painted in the industry. People do it, they like it. I think Nabucco had another issue. I think they did something illegally or over the weekend, and then the village is still fuming because of that. His brother that does the men's shop here, he did something similar, did it over a weekend, a 3-day weekend, and then was saying he made all these reasons why he did it, because he didn't like the brick. It's a long story, but they made it take it down, paint. I'm not in favor, as a preservation architect, I'm not in favor of the paint because it damages the brick later on. That's known, that's proven, there's plenty of documentations on that. Secondly, when you're putting wood on top of limestone, what does wood do? What's wood? Wood is a moisture collector. So again, you're now trapping more moisture. And that facade, if you do everything you're suggesting, in 10 years, you're gonna have a lot of cracked bricks, and you're gonna have your limestone damage and spalling. I mean, are you familiar with what word spalling mean? Spalling means, spall, S-P-A-L-L.
I am not.
Okay, spalling means when the brick shears off from the face, and the reason if it shaves off is because of the thermal expansion and contraction in the winter. Moisture get into the joints, the brick is trying to evaporate. That's the idea. There's an evaporation process that happens with masonry structure. If you let that happen, you're gonna have brick for 300 years or 200 years, whatever they case. You don't wanna end up layering it up, because then you start creating future problems for yourself or maybe a future owner, the one that wants to buy this. So I'm not in favor of all this cladding that they're putting on the.
So I just want to say, I know you said about Nabucco doing something illegally.
Well,
We're obviously
you
not
know-
looking to do that.
No,
That's
I know
why
that.
we're here.
I agree, but using them as an example, it's.
I do
not
know that
helping you.
there's-
Yeah, they did it like on a weekend or something. I don't know, it was a while ago.
Understandable, or they should obviously not have done that. I do know that there's proper ways to paint brick. That's one of the hottest trends right now in building homes. Is
They do it, but they don't know what they're doing.
Co-
I teach construction
yeah,
classes.
I believe what you're saying. I'm just saying that it is a trend. People are doing it. It's very popular. We're looking to update the outside.
I mean, I think the
What-
brick looks fine. It's fine, and if you want to do something with a limestone, all you have to do is power wash it and clean it up.
So actually, the limestone has to be redone. There's holes and cracks in it, so that
Well, that's because of people putting signs up and punching through it, but yeah.
exactly. So either way, we would have to still be putting the money into the building.
One of the things that I'd like to point out is this limestone surround at the entrance. This isn't historic.
No?
This was done when they redid the building. I think Dressler did the redesign for, I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name who bought it from Sukup.
Yeah.
It was Steve, I think was his first name. I can't remember his last name. So that was part of that remodel. So somewhere in the packet, there is a photo of what that looked like. It was pretty clear that, here you go, this was a good one. So you can see the edges on this. It was just the brickwork. So all that
Oh.
limestone,
So they clad it over
technically,
it.
yeah, well, they put something up to create that entrance that was not originally historic to the building.
I see. Okay.
Because I came here tonight thinking that was also, that limestone surround was original to the building, and then they're covering it up
Yeah,
with wood.
limestone's not cheap to put up either. I'm interested. Okay.
No, it's not, but
Okay.
And I do want to add, like, we would be keeping the the existing or the existing limestone columns that are on the exterior. We're not looking to bring those out and make them, reclaimed wood boxes. We just are looking, we already have wood there.
And I guess that was my point, was that I'm not
Yeah.
overly concerned about the limestone at the
Yeah.
moment because
Thank
it's
you.
not historic to the rest of the building. And I thought it was when I first came here tonight. Other comments, Sarah?
I think I said enough.
Well, first, you're like the best thing in town.
Thank you.
But, next to the salon.
Of course.
Good luck with trying to paint the brick. I mean,
Yeah.
I hear
We-
you and I understand, but there's a lot of ugly brick in this town, and this is actually a building with, I think is really lovely brick, like your neighbor next door. You can see how the brick color changes.
Right. And I think that they submitted to change things too, but
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that one should be changed, but
yeah.
good luck with that, but I think the
Yeah,
sign is beautiful. And the stenciling, I think, is lovely on the
Thank
on the
you.
ground there. I think that, God, it'll be, what a marked change from what's there right
Thanks.
now. I think that's lovely. Will you still have heaters in the,
Yes, we will, but it will be, again, it will be painted, I think it's called tricorn black. And it's
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna
a
change
beautiful
look
color.
at all. It's just getting rid of, it's so distressed and just beat up
Mm-hmm.
from over time. I mean, we've only been there for 8 years, but that exterior has been like that for,
yeah. And I love the
Yes.
planter boxes because I love the whole, it's going with what's happening
Thank you.
inside of your
I appreciate
restaurant,
that.
which I get, and I like that you're pulling that
Thank you.
out front. So, I really enjoy this look. I would be very leery of the brick painting too. I'll just
I'm not
put
gonna
out
beat that
there,
to
but
death. It's,
yeah.
Bethany had already told me, like, it's gonna be very hard to,
Yeah.
and I completely understand. We still love the building. We
you get
still
your
love
sign.
it. What?
You get your sign.
I love it. I love the whole thing.
It's literally just a refresh to the outside. We're not looking to change. We love being in Hinsdale. We have great patrons, and we hope to be there for years and years to come. So,
So the storefronts, well, call it storefront, it still stays the same because it's black already, right?
yep, that's like all the existing.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually think it looks better with the black because it goes with the glass and the anodized colors. So it just looks more uniform. Everything literally stays the exact same. The ground, it might look like it's black in the picture, but it's not. It's like a concrete color, and it's just to disguise like the grease and the heavy traffic that's been there over the years. I think that's it. Yeah.
Above on the extreme southeast corner of the building, you have the doorway up to the second story.
Right where the flag is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your rendering does not show the decorative wrought iron work that's currently there. Are you?
Oh, that's all staying. We're not changing. I don't know why sorry, it was the designer. All of that is staying. We wouldn't be changing any of that.
You wouldn't be changing
No.
that? Okay.
And the entry is still in the same location, correct?
Yes,
So that
she's not showing the doors just because we're not
Yeah.
changing anything of that exterior. She kept it just kind of like uniform.
So all the first floor glazing is staying as is, correct?
Yep,
I mean,
all
none of
the
that's
windows,
changing,
no.
right?
Not as of now.
And the lights for the second level, those are electric and not gas,
Yes.
correct? Okay. I saw the cut sheet, I didn't see if it was gas or electric.
Are you doing anything to the interior, or is this?
Excuse me?
Are you doing anything to the interior?
Eventually, yes, we are. Nothing that is like a major update, but just, painting and
Right.
little things, updates of tables, chairs, just to keep it modern. And after COVID, we just need a little bit of a change.
I'd say my concern is really the painting of the brick as well.
Sure.
I do like the brick on this building, and I think it's a charming facade the way it is. It's kind of something I struggle with a little bit because I do like the rendering. I think if this was a new building, kind of at the end of a block out of the downtown area, with the seating next to it and the ivy on the walls, I think it would be terrific. I like the color scheme. I like the reclaimed wood. I always have.
Thank you.
I like the fact that you have the seating area out in front. I even like the pattern for the floor.
Thank you.
I think would be really attractive, especially in that area. I think it gives it kind of an old school kind of tile look while still being modern at the same time. And so I love all those things. I think it's all terrific. I'm not concerned about the future signage. I think you guys try to do a good job of that. But the painting of the brick is my biggest thing.
Sure.
Because of the fact that it is old school, beautiful, nothing wrong with it brick.
I understand. I do have a question. Looking into the future, if we did come back with, are there any changes to the brick that you would feel comfortable doing?
Probably not.
Okay.
Right.
Other than tuck point it.
Yeah, and that will have to probably be done very soon.
Yeah, it needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's in pretty good shape, but it does need some
Don't
tuck
use
point.
the end mortar, use the O mortar, softer for those.
I'll have you talk to the building owners. They're in charge of that.
Yeah, only because if the mortar's too hard, then you deal with other issues.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's my only real issue, unfortunately. And I'm just wondering if that means, if we keep the brick color, if we recommend that, if there's something else that can get done with, let's say, the color of the reclaimed wood or something like that to
I
kind of
don't know,
offset
that's
that.
fine. I mean, if you say the limestone's not original, then let them
Yeah,
do what they like.
So if you look at the signage that's there right now, it's obviously reclaimed wood has variations of color and, veining with the wood, but it would be fairly similar to what is there right now. We would just have more of the cladding rather than like the one wood plank.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check one thing here. Let's see this. Yeah, see, I mean, they did it for the signage when they did it originally. That whole-
Right,
that whole-
okay, I
that whole
see.
band
Yeah,
course.
okay, I
So
see it.
Again, right now, it's just a kind of a board applied to that. And in this case, you're just gonna make it bigger and wider. Seems to fit
Is it
with
gonna
the
be
art.
backlit? the sign?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why the gooseneck's gonna come out.
Okay.
They
Oh,
don't
oh,
need-
yeah,
they
the
don't need-
gooseneck that everybody wanted.
Yeah, but in his case, they're way up there, they're huge, they hang out. I mean, do they all work?
What?
The goosenecks that are there now?
No, that's why we're looking to, instead of replacing what's there, just looking to, again, just refresh the outside. Give it
I
updated
do
view.
like everything, I just don't like the color of the brick.
Sure.
Even though I think the color scheme is terrific.
Thank you.
It's just in this case, us having to protect the historic downtown,
Got it.
wearing that hat for the day, that's my biggest issue. Anyone else in the public like to speak to this? Go ahead, James. Can you go to the podium then? Otherwise, they can't hear you for the minutes of the meeting kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw the images. I thought it was very attractive. And I have a building in Naperville, a brick building, corner building in a prominent location. And we did paint it. And it did what you said it would do. But being a responsible owner, I make sure it stays looking the way it needs to stay. And I know how she operates her business. And if it required a maintenance, I know that she would take care of it. But it does do what you said, for sure. But at the same time, sometimes the painted look, it is a contemporary look, and it is part of what makes businesses successful today. There was some discussion of Jane's Blue Iris that built. I just, I understand what everyone was pointing out, but their business went out of business. So, I mean, that
Right.
maybe it wasn't set up right in the first place. So, I think it looks very nice, but that's all. I know that you would take care of it.
Anyone else? Public comments? Okay.
Okay,
Any more deliberation,
No.
ladies and gentlemen?
done.
Nope.
Oh, Bill?
Then, can I get a motion?
Depends on
Aye.
the motion, Frank.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait, before you go, they're not painting the brick, correct? That's right.
Well, you have to make that part of your motion.
Okay,
can
that you're not,
approve
why
or
do I
deny.
have to be the one saying this?
Well,
Because I brought it
Mr.
up.
Painting Brick, yeah.
Mr. Painting, fine. I approve, provided they don't paint the brick. Everything else is fine.
Thank you.
Is that official? Is that enough?
That's
Is that enough?
Okay.
Oh,
So you approve everything except painting the brick?
yes, that's what I said.
That's how you've got it phrased. Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Barkley?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Harlow?
Aye.
Commissioner Prisby?
Aye. All right, Patricia, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Good luck with the
Thank you.
project.
Thank you.
And in front of Plan Commission. Okay. Closes our hearings. Any other?
Bye-bye,
Okay, have a
everyone.
great, good luck, James. Are there any other members of the public who would like to bring up some new business tonight?
I don't think we have any more
Clearly
public.
not. So we're on to new business. Is there any?
It's getting
I
late.
believe, Bethany, you had some things you
I have
wanted
a
to run
couple of
through?
things,
All
yeah.
right, I had one thing that Alexis brought up.
Okay, do you want to go first?
I can. She had just mentioned to me this morning, at, I believe it's 32 East Hinsdale, Nick's old barber shop that, I can't remember the name of it now, I think it's like Die Hard or something, had a person, what was it, Sarah, actually kind of flew through the window and got hurt and
Yes,
shattered the
badly.
glass, and they've covered this with plywood right now. And I know it takes a long time to get glass in the current construction environment, and I know they're waiting for that. She had just brought up that right now the plywood that covers the opening it's a nice artistic, well-painted image on it that covers all of the plywood. And I think if it was just the painting itself, I don't think she would have a problem with it. However, the fact that the logo or the name of the business is incorporated into the artwork, as temporary as it is, I think she was concerned about the signage associated with it, and just wanted to at least bring that up for discussion.
Yep.
I think she may have actually brought it up with Lourdes
Yep.
at the village, and I'm not sure if anything is being done about that, should be done about that. I do have an image I could share with the other commissioners that maybe haven't seen it from earlier today.
But that's there temporary, it's gonna come down, right?
It is going to come down. It can't stay there. When the glass comes in, that will be removed,
Right.
right?
Actually,
Personally, I
it's
think they should put it up
better
on the
than a-
inside.
Yeah,
It-
it looks
it's a-
better than just a piece of board, right?
So, yeah, I don't,
They still gotta attract people to their business somehow for.
You know, and did they say how long it would be till they get the glass?
Lourdes, since we talked, Lourdes was going to follow up with them today. She did send them notice, and they did say that it was ordered and on its way, the new glass. So
Okay.
it should hopefully be turned around. She was going to follow up today just to kind of get an update and an estimate, because you guys aren't the first people to bring this up. We've gotten quite a few calls on this.
Really, what were the calls? I mean, were people complaining about it?
Yeah, we've gotten calls about, is that signage, what is going on there, not knowing if it actually is open or what.
Was that for residents or fellow business owners in town?
A couple business owners and a couple commissioners.
oh, okay, so
Okay.
we
Yeah.
are getting people upset, okay.
So they're aware, and like I said, they've already been noticed, so it's just now, we'll get an update and keep you guys updated.
I
on
actually
that.
think it's very well done.
What
but
I was told-
I can't go by opinion.
I think after that crash, I think one of their customers offered to do it for free. Don't hold me to this story, but this is the story that I was told, that one of their customers said, hey, I'll make sure people know that you are open, and then kind of just
That's
painted that
true.
over.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any intent behind it, and they're aware that it can't stay like that.
And it's temporary, I understand.
Yep.
So I at least wanted to honor Alexis's request and bring that up tonight.
Yep.
Okay, on to your list.
Okay, so one of the things that we did talk about last time was scheduling a webinar training with Anthony Rubano from the State Historic Preservation Office for the Illinois Property Tax Assessment Freeze Program. I know we have a different group than we had last time here, so I just want to follow up and see if everyone thinks maybe early November would be a good time for that. We kind of are going to have our hands full with some of the historic overlay items and have a couple of other things, but this will give us some time to kind of market it and get people involved. It will be held through a webinar, but that doesn't mean that we can't kind of organize something here, put an article in the newspaper, and do some actual marketing to get people to attend. So I'm thinking early November, and he's pretty flexible with what he'll do for us. So
Would that be during the day or in the evening?
whatever we think can work. Like I said, we can try to set something up here. You know our visual technology in this room. So, but we can see what we can do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestions, and he's pretty flexible, I think. He could do something early evening or during the day.
Well, who are we appealing to here? Are we talking to the real estate agents? Are we talking to builders? Are we talking architects? Are we talking to local residents?
I think we could invite everyone.
But who do we think we're really trying to target this? Is it the owners?
I would think it'd be the owners, right?
And
And
that's
then,
the
but
case.
also the realtors,
Realtors.
because the realtors seem to underhand every time that
Yeah.
we see an opportunity. The realtors already, I'm sure, having conversation with the owner about what they can get away with when it comes to a tear down.
So I would recommend that we don't do this during work hours. An evening thing might be actually
Oh,
better.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
You may disagree with that. I mean, that's fine.
I agree.
No, it's fine.
And I think it needs to be no later than the second week of November, otherwise you're really kind of into the
Right,
holidays.
right.
Yes.
That's why early November
The
might be good.
difficulty is getting the attendance to show up, because some
Yeah.
people may just like, I'm not gonna listen to that.
Well, and one of the things is we were thinking of obviously recording it and then putting a page on the village website so we can always
Okay.
refer people to that
Right,
after.
okay.
And if it's a webinar, you might be able to send out a link for people to just attend at home.
Right. That's the nice thing. You don't have to actually come to Village Hall. You can attend anywhere.
Okay. Next.
Okay. I just want to let everyone know, I think I sent this out in our email for the week. There was a good article in the Hinsdalian about the mid-century modern home by the Currys and the preservation efforts that they did for 701 South Taft. So if you haven't read that article, please do. It was a really great article. And it's, I think, a good example of that preservation can be done even for mid-century modern homes.
Excellent.
And that's it for new business.
Okay, then on to old business.
So for the amendments to Title 14, so last night, we had a successful first reading of the Historic Overlay District at the Village Board meeting, and everything went pretty smoothly, so this will now move on to a second reading on September 20th. We had like one minor change based on Trustee Postema for a tiny little bit of language, but nothing crazy, and I think we're in smooth sailing now. So the next steps here, we have quite a few. I wish we could see, we almost can see that light at the end of the tunnel. We do, one of the biggest, I think, comments that we got from the Plan Commission at the public hearing, which Commissioner Prisby did attend, was there needs to be a really good marketing and campaign effort to really educate the community on that. So we want to start building that program. And then we do need to create our first official list. This list doesn't need to have 1,000 properties. We have already a list that I think I sent out to everyone in the last email of about 10 people who have expressed some interest. And last week, we had a couple of conversations with some other architects and builders who are actually really excited about the program and have a couple of other properties that weren't on that list that I sent you in mind. So we kind of have the list created. The next steps are to start drafting letters, sending these out to these homeowners and kind of getting those people at least engaged. And then for some of those properties, we don't have historic surveys already completed. So we'll need the help of either you guys, some volunteers to help put some historic research together. We don't like, we have stuff on the Bagley House now because of the landmarking status, but there's a couple of homes where we just didn't have historic surveys done. So start thinking about that. That list needs to be completed. We already basically have the list. We just have to do the research right now for our first round. And that needs to be, no matter what, completed by end of February to start going through that process. I suspect we can get through it before then, though. But we want to probably start thinking about and figuring out how do we want to keep going with the next round of list and subsequent lists. We want to be mindful of probably not doing too many at once because we have to put a notice in the newspaper and there's some, technical procedures. We want to make sure we inform all the, homeowners ahead of time. So, 1,000 houses at once is probably going to be really hard for us. But we're on our way, which is the exciting thing, and I think we've got some good momentum now.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Good work, Bethany.
Yep.
And then the 150th anniversary celebration.
Yep, so I don't really have an update on this. We did cancel the August meeting and the September meeting that's upcoming. So our next meeting is scheduled for October 19th. And I do want to introduce you guys to Andre Peterson. She is our new assistant village manager. Brad Bloom is going to be retiring in February, and so Andrea is going to be taking over, and this is going to be one of the projects that she's going to kind of be spearheading. So she only started a couple weeks ago, and she's just getting used to everything, but at least you get to meet her, and she's really going to be doing a great job helping with this.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And then lastly, we had the Robbins Park Historic District gateway signs.
Yep. I'm going to push this till the next meeting because we have so few commissioners, again, if that's okay with everyone. It was just the minor tweaks that we talked about last time and updating that document. And now that it's coming to be winter, the request is that we're probably going to want to push this money into the next budget. The money will still be there, but we'll just try to push this for next time. So.
I think last time we talked about the fact that Bill and Frank weren't here, and I wanted to make sure that they had their chance to
Yes.
kind of comment on some of the changes. So
Yep.
it'd be nice to be able to push that one more month and
Yep.
kind of get everybody here if possible.
And it wasn't too major of changes. We added a couple of extra optional signs, if you guys remember, and looked at a few other locations. I think I included the item from last meeting, and we might have had a couple of other small changes. But take a look, and we'll discuss it at the next meeting when we have a couple more full commission here.
Bethany, you mean this document?
Yes. So
Yeah.
this is the one that was at the last meeting, so
Right.
I'll kind of go through it a little bit more in depth at the next meeting.
Okay. So, may I please have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Aye.
You have a motion.
A motion to
Second.
adjourn.
Second.
All right.
I'm
All in
delirious.
favor? Aye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.